Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. We are continuing on Surah Al-Ikhlas, the last ayat of Surah Al-Ikhlas, and with its commentary as well, that we left off with Hazrat Khalifat al-Masih, Rabi Ramallah, his commentary on this last ayat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد, and there is none like unto him, et nul n'est semblable à lui, और उसका कभी कोई हमसर नहीं हुआ. So the main words we covered before, but we just focus more on in this Kufuwan Ahad, that there's none like anyone unto him. So in the commentary, Hazrat Muslim Rizallahu Ta'ala Anhu, where he left off on this final ayat, or where we left off, he says that it is quite possible that the matters which I have presented before you in brief are based on conclusive and comprehensive arguments which are irrefutable. Yet a doubt can arise that if there does exist any eternal being, then it is not possible that there be two of such eternal beings. Intellectually, there is no answer to it. There is no reason that why there could not be two or three such eternal beings. It is possible that all of them be eternal. Allah Ta'ala replies by saying, Lam yakullahu kufuwan ahad. Observe the universe. You will not find any being carrying the attributes of God. Whatever matter exists and whatever shapes it exists in, you can search everything which can be termed as an existence. You will not see any godly attributes in them. In particular, will be missing in them the eternity and being forever. So this one specific difference between the creation and the creator is that the creator, that and everything in the creation has a similarity among itself. That is that it doesn't have eternity, but there is nothing else in the creation like that, or anything else beside God, like a creator. He is the only one who is eternal and living forever. So there is no kufuwan, that means of him. He used kufu in matrimonial matters. Relationship should be sought in kufuwan. Some kufuwan of a person does exist somewhere. If the relationship is established in kufuwan, both will be delighted despite their deficiencies and imperfections. Marriage outside kufuwan becomes troublesome. One suffers due to superiority and the other suffers due to inferiority. Absence of this kufuwan, or the likeness, also concerns his not having a female companion. God says, when there is no kufuwan or likeness, then he could not sorry, just a minute. God says, when there is no likeness, then he could not bear children without a parallel kufuwan, and whatever will be born because a relationship with a non-parallel likeness will be defective. Additional argument is hidden in the argument. A series of arguments has been narrated in these short verses. Kufuwan ahad is an argument without a rejoinder. Should show if there is anything in the whole universe, the sun or the moon bearing the attributes of God. This is the argument used by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Said to the opponents, or said to the opponent, well, this one is shining, this could be my God. When it set, he said, this is imperfect, is no more. One who sets cannot be God because there is no decline for God. With reference to the universe, everything about which everyone imagines divinity can be definitely proved not to be God in his fashion, because of the absence of the attributes which are the attributes of God. So Hazur is basically saying again the argument that that everything in the creation we can see in it, just as was the argument given by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam to those who were idol worshippers, that those they didn't carry the things which they worship, like the sun and the moon. They didn't carry the attributes of God. They didn't carry the full attributes of divinity. And therefore, in itself, the argument is destroyed. In Surah Al-Imran, in the beginning, it speaks about the, in contrast to Christianity. In fact, many verses in the surah actually begins by speaking about the attributes which are completely God's attributes, in which we understand God. That anything, if someone says is God, then he should have those qualities that only God has. And Hazrat Muslima Rizila Talanho, on commenting on several ayats in the beginning, it mentions about the that Allah is all-knowing and he is aware of everything. Yet Jesus alayhi salam was not even knowing, according to the New Testament, the day when judgment would come. So this is shows that the characteristic of the created being, even if it's a prophet, doesn't have that quality of God. And also, Hazrat Muslim Maud who explained that when it spoke also in chapter Surah Al-Imran in the beginning about the fact that Allah is the one who created the human beings, and the human being is fashioned or comes to birth out of its mother's womb. And Huzur said that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the explanation to the Christians of Najran when he was preaching to them, that if you why don't you understand, or he kept pointing to the fact that Jesus was born of Maryam, or Hazrat Maryam, that meaning that the implication being that the qualities of the mother were transferred to the son, just as every born thing has the qualities of its parents. And therefore, if they have the quality of the parents, if they're from this creation, then they're limited, then they will die, and they have an offspring, like we were discussing earlier on. Lam yalid wa lam yulad, he is not given, he is not came into this created being from a birth, and he is not going to have a successor or give birth to something and then die, and his successor will come after him. So similarly, we can understand, we can know that the one true God, the true God that exists, and that is not like what we find in creation, should have actually godlike characteristics. And those things which don't have godlike characteristics, then we should immediately understand that we cannot worship them. So in this instance, going back to this point, the Muslim Maud explained that the characteristics which are transferred from the mother of Maryam to Jesus, may peace and blessing be upon both of them, that this shows that he had the limited qualities of his mother, and he didn't have a perfection, the perfection of God, the qualities of God, because he was a created being. He was going to have limited qualities, and when you have limited qualities, you can't say that thing is God. So this is why the Holy Prophet ﷺ would use the argument to the Christians that, can't you see that you're who you claim Jesus to be God, that he was born of a mother, so he has the qualities of the mother, and if he has the quality of the mother, then he has the qualities of human being. If he has the qualities of a human being, then he's from among the humans, and he can't be God. So this was the argument, and this is the differentiation that the surah is. This surah is going into very simplistically making us understand that there is nothing in the creation absolutely, but in this instance, in the very last line, walam yakullahu kufuwan ahad, the even the possibility of another created being, another being that is like the creator, it doesn't exist. So in the end, Hazur, he said on the following commentary of this last ayat, he said that this is the surah which is called Surah Ikhlas. Another meaning of Ikhlas is narrated by saying that a description of Tawheed better than this has not been related anywhere else. Additionally, in my view, the wisdom is giving the name of Al-Ikhlas is that if you want to be mukhlis for his faith, then you cannot be purely dedicated to his faith without this surah. The negation of everything unrelated to God is carried out so completely in this surah that without delving into its contents and without implementing them on your hearts and bodies, none of your worships can be purely for his faith or purely for him, because wherever there will be a flaw in understanding of the subject, right there, someone from outside of the divine will become a partner in your worship. Giving it the name of Ikhlas alerts us that if you initiate your worships pondering on this surah, then your worship will continue becoming pure step by step until all the subjects narrated in this surah start circulating in every vein and fiber of your body and become a part of your existence. So the level of our understanding of God and having a better understanding of God and becoming a true mukhlis, one who is dedicated to the faith, truly should understand this surah, and we shouldn't set up any idols or any shirk or anyone aside from God, or it shouldn't be anything that leads us away from God. And this is what this surah is very clearly pointing to, and this is how Azur is guiding us and telling us about him. Hazrat Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has explained, in many cases about the unity of God and also shirk and the forms of shirk and how we find them and how we understand them. And this this surah is a means which can help us to realize the greatness of God and how we should put our attention towards God alone, the one who is complete, who is as-Samad, who is the height, is the high, as we were explaining earlier, the high peak, the high summit where we should reach to. And when we reach to that, and when we sit on that and we focus on that God, then being at that height, we will have the strength to do anything and have the ability to soar with our faith to such higher and higher heights, and Allah will protect us, because Samad means that he doesn't depend on anything, but we are the ones who depend on him. So that means we should leave everything off alone, and we should put all of our attention towards God so that we can get the benefit from as-Samad, the God who is the one who is going to provide for us and doesn't need anything because he is eternal. And when we put our attention to this surah and we understand it, it's so focusing our faith towards the one and true God. And that's why when I started studying this surah, we did cover it before, and I did it again, and I thought that in revising it, we should look at it even more in depth. But when I started restudying it, I realized that there is much that we need to learn from this very simple surah, which seems very simple, but in fact is very deep and is very has many deeper understandings, as does the Holy Quran in general. And this can be one of examples of when we are studying the Holy Quran, that how we can reach to even more depths when we start learning the Holy Quran, when we start, understanding it, reading, and especially when we read the writing of the Khulafa, of commentary on the Holy Quran, we can delve into those depths and we can get better understanding of the surah, and we can have more and more deeper understanding. So with that, for today, I'll finish. And we, inshallah, will continue with the commentary of the Holy Quran, inshallah, in my next class, which is on Wednesday, inshallah. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.